In this video, we are going to learn how to add Registrant in GoTo Webinar for MyPipeline form submission. Now, we want that whenever a new form is submitted in MyPipeline for registration, by using the same details, a new Registrant should be created for a particular webinar in GoTo Webinar. And in order to automate this entire process, we will have to integrate both these applications. And because they do not have any kind of native integration between them, therefore we are going to use an integration software Pabbly Connect here. So what we are going to do, we have MyPipeline in our trigger and we have GoTo Webinar in our action. So we will be connecting both of them by using Pabbly Connect in such a way that whenever a new form will be submitted in MyPipeline, automatically by using the same details of that form, a new registrant will be created in GoTo Webinar. And in order to learn the entire process step by step, let me take you all to my screen. So in this video, we will be learning that whenever a new form is submitted in MyPipeline for registration, automatically a new registrant will be created in GoTo Webinar for this webinar. Okay, so let's start learning this process step by step. First of all, in order to start the process, we have to come on our browser and then we have to search for pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, we are on the landing page of this software. Here we can find two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you have to click on sign up for free to create your free new account in just 2 minutes. And also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks to explore this entire amazing software. So because I am already an existing user of Pabbly Connect, therefore I'm clicking on sign in, and now we are on the all apps section where we can find all the products offered by Pabbly. And in order to create this workflow, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now, and now it has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here we can find all the workflows which we have created, and in order to create a new workflow, we will have to click on create workflow option given on right corner. So let's click on it, and now a dialog box has appeared in front of us which is asking to provide this workflow a suitable name. So let's give it a name as Add Registrant in GoTo Webinar for MyPipeline form submission. And after giving the name to this workflow, let's click on create. And as we do that, we can find two windows open in front of us. First is trigger and the other is action. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the basic principles on which the entire workflow of any automation runs. So here we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can have multiple actions because action is the response towards the trigger. Okay, so let's understand trigger and action once again with this workflow. So here we are taking MyPipeline as our trigger, in which whenever a new form will be submitted, automatically in response to that, a new registrant will be created in our GoTo Webinar, which is our action. Okay, so let's start the workflow. First of all, we have to select our trigger application, which is MyPipeline. Select it, and now we have to select our trigger event, which is form submitted. And here we can find that a webhook URL is provided to us with some instructions which we have to follow in order to connect MyPipeline with Pabbly Connect. So let me tell you how we have to do that. First of all, we have to go on our MyPipeline account. So this is the dashboard of MyPipeline, and here from the left side we have to select automations. And after coming on automations, we have to click on this blue button which is of create workflow. And now here we have to select one of these templates. So let me select this template. Okay, by clicking on continue, we have selected this template. Now here we have to select trigger and action as we have selected in Pabbly Connect. So by clicking on add new workflow trigger, we have to select our trigger, which will be form submitted, and we can also give another name to this workflow trigger name, but I am giving form submitted only. So now we have to click on save trigger, and the other step is that we have to select one action also. So we will select our action by clicking on add your first action, and our action here will be webhook. Okay, so let's select webhook, and here we have to paste the URL which we have copied from here. So let's again copy it, and then we have to paste it over here. And we can also rename this action name, but I am keeping the name webhook only, and in the method we have to select post. Okay, now simply we have to click on save, and after that we have to again click on save. And now when the workflow is saved, we have to publish this workflow. Okay, and after that we have to again click on save. So our workflow is saved, and let us check whether this workflow is published or not. So from the given workflows, we can find that today we have created one new workflow and it is published. Now let's again move to Pabbly Connect, And here we can find that it is showing waiting for webhook response. That means now we have to do a test submission by filling the form in order to capture the webhook response here in the Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let me show you. This is the form which I have created for this particular workflow. So we will fill this by entering the details. So I am giving dummy details over here just to capture the response in Pabbly Connect. So let's start with the first name. So I am giving the first name as dummy and the last name as user, and let me give the email also, and at last the phone number. Okay, now we have to click on request a callback, and as we do that we can find that our form is submitted over here. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect and check whether we have received the response there or not. So yes, we can see that we have received the response with the same details which we have entered in the form. Okay, now let's move on to our next step, which is our action step. So in our action step, first we have to select our action application, which is GoTo Webinar. Okay, select it, and our action event will be create registrant. Now let's click on connect, and here it is asking two options: add new connection or select existing connection. So let's click on add new connection, and here it is asking us two details which are from time and to time. That means now we have to give the time of the webinar, from when it is going to start and when it is going to end. Okay, here this is the webinar which I have created, which is named as webinar on AI, and it is scheduled on Monday 5th of Feb 2024 with the time as 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in IST, that is Indian Standard Time. So let's go back to Pabbly Connect, and here it is asking us to provide the date and time in this way in UTC format. Okay, so let's copy it. So let's first give the date in this particular format. So our year is 2024 and this is the month. So month is February, that means 02, and the date is 05. Okay, now for the time we have to change our Indian Standard Time into this UTC format. For that, this is the UTC to IST converter. Now here we will convert our IST time into UTC format. So let's select our start time, which is 10 a.m. and here we can find that 10 a.m. is 4:30 a.m. in UTC format. So we have to change this time into 4:30, and in the same format we will do the end time also. So while changing the time and changing the date, we have to be very careful because a small mistake can also stuck our workflow. So here, what is the end time of the webinar? Let's go and check again. So the end time is 11 a.m. Okay, so again we have to go and check what is the UTC format of 11 a.m. So let's select 11 a.m. and it is showing 5:30 a.m. Okay, so let's again change the time from 4:30 to 5:30 over here. Done. Now simply we have to click on connect with GoTo Webinar, and we can see that when we do that, our authorization is successful. Why? Because I have already logged into my GoTo Webinar account. You have to also keep in mind always to log into your GoTo Webinar account before making the connection with Pabbly Connect. Now let's move on and enter these fields one by one. So first is the webinar. So it is already selected, webinar on AI. Now the next is first name. So we are going to map the data from our previous step, which is MyPipeline form submission. So we will be using these details here in our action step by mapping them, because we want that whenever a new form is also submitted in MyPipeline by a new registrant, automatically the details of that registrant also should be captured here, and we do not have to do anything manually. Okay, so let's start mapping one by one. First is first name. So let's map the first name from our previous step, and here by scrolling we can find that we got our first name, map it, and the next is last name. So the last name is user, which is given over here, and in the same manner we have to map the email also. This is the email. Now because we have not entered these details in our form submission in MyPipeline, and therefore I am ignoring some of them for now, but you can definitely map the details according to your form submission. So let me directly come on the phone number, and this is the phone number. Okay, now let's click on save and send test request, and our status is approved. That means a new registrant has been created in our GoTo Webinar for our webinar. Okay, so let's go and check there. So this is my webinar. Let's click on it, and we can see here that yes, a new registrant has been created with the name as dummy user and the email which we have entered in the form of MyPipeline, and here is the date on which it is created. So that means our workflow is successful. Let's go back to Pabbly Connect and summarize what we have done in this workflow. So basically we have taken two steps here. First is trigger and the other is action. So in trigger we have taken MyPipeline and in action we have taken GoTo Webinar. And we have created a workflow in order to integrate both these applications by using Pabbly Connect. And now both of them are connected in such a way that whenever a new form will be submitted in MyPipeline, automatically by using the detail of that particular form, a new registrant will be created in our GoTo Webinar. So these were the steps which we have to follow in order to integrate both these applications. And this was it in this video. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can easily integrate many other applications by using Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can easily email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can easily reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you are having any pricing related issue with Pabbly Connect, you can easily reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful in any way, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel to learn more such automation.